the 5 worst rides in Walt Disney World. I made this list 6 years ago. It wasn't very well received then, and we'll see if this one gets received better. I've been quite a handful of times since then, but I decided I was going to revisit this list because, well, I wasn't that good at basically articulating the reasons for why I felt the way I did about the rides. And hopefully I'm better at doing it this time, because I do feel that the reasons why the rides are where they are solid reasons. I don't think it's going to help for people disagreeing with them, but, that's the way it is. Either way, let's get started.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
All right. Let's get the controversy out the way right off the bat. If you're going to hate the video, let's get it going right now. Test Track. I know people love the ride, and I'll be honest, I've never really fully understood it. It could be argued the only thrill ride in Epcot, at least until Guardians of the Galaxy finally opens. But I think the idea of a simulated experience of an automobile test is a better idea than it is actually a ride. Because when you actually break it down, all it is we're going to turn you right real quick. Then we're going to jerk you to the left real quick. We're going to stop you short. We're going to swerve. There's nothing to the ride that's that enjoyable. They get to say it's the fastest ride in Disney, and then when they brace you for it, it doesn't give you that impact and that jolt that Rock and Roller Coaster does. Or even that Tower of Terror does with the drop. It might go faster, but it doesn't even feel like it goes faster. It's kind of that same logic how Space Mountain feels like it goes faster because it's in the dark, or even though it's quite slow. Test Track commands the long lines. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't think it's a bad ride. It's a disappointing ride. And I think disappointment is what lands it on number 5. Whereas a ride like, spoiler alert, is not on here, but it was on the previous worst list. It's a Small World. Whereas the song is repetitive and annoying, it is what it is. And you can kind of accept it. But I can't accept Test Track. So here's another one that might make a little people upset, but I think I got a good explanation for. Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin is another solid ride. The problem is it's vastly outdone in Hollywood studios with Toy Story Mania. And I think when you go to Disney, you kind of want the best of the best, especially for the price. And to be fair, you could argue that maybe they're falling short of that as of late, but that's a different discussion. And Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin definitely can't compare to Toy Story Mania. So, with that, I do feel like it is a ride that needs to be replaced. And in a time where it needs to be replaced, I can't put it as a best ride. It kind of has to be on a worst ride. It's just so overshined by Midway Mania. That's probably the best shooting game ride there is. At least you can argue, for instance, at Universal with Men in Black, it's a different company. But I don't know. I have to put Buzz Lightyear on here because of Midway Mania. But once again, it's It's still a decent ride. It's just not quite. We're at the point of this list where I think you're seeing where the rides aren't bad. They're just more of a disappointment. All right, so swinging back over to Epcot. Seas with Nemo and Friends. Disney has a lot of these kind of omni-mover rides. They're, fairly basic, kind of cookie-cutter rides for them. But something about the Nemo and Friends ride. It goes through the Seas Pavilion, or what was the Seas Pavilion, I guess. And they just kind of project the Nemo characters on the actual aquarium. It always felt to me to be shorter, and I guess I don't have the actual times for all these rides. It always felt to me to be rather short in comparison to these other rides, and I would guess it always also felt that it was only an excuse to get you into the actual aquarium, which to me was the highlight, but I guess to the little kids it never was. There just never was anything there because it was built around the aquarium. It wasn't the Haunted Mansion. It wasn't the Little Mermaid. It wasn't even Winnie the Pooh. It was an attraction that was slapped on, and it never felt like it was meant to be Nemo. All right, so Triceratops Spin. I could argue to put every one of these ride types on this spot, even though I would not put Dumbo on here because of, it's an icon, it's a classic. Everything you can say about that. And I don't actually know what the name of this ride type is. But either way, I picked one. And I'm going to pick Triceratops Spin. And my reasoning for that is this. First of all, Dumbo's a classic. It wouldn't go on the top 5 anyway. Magic Carpets are... Alright, at least it's Aladdin. And it's got a theme to it of Aladdin. And you got something there. And Astro Orbiter, hey, listen, it's a shallow excuse, but it's high up there. But I mean, Triceratops Spin, it's in Dino Land. It's already in a part of a theme park that I don't think anybody really cares about except for Dinosaur the ride. I mean, nobody goes to Animal Kingdom and wants to go to Dino Land USA. It's a nothing ride. I mean, like I said, you could put all of these types of rides in this spot, except for Dumbo. But for me, I'm just going to put Triceratops Spin because I could see at least the other ones, even though it's really bad that they're all 3 in the Magic Kingdom. But yeah, I'm going to put Triceratops Spin right here. All right. So this was number 1 on the list last time. I have been to Disney more than twice in the past decade. But I've only rode this ride twice in the past decade. And you might consider that a disqualifier. However, the reason why I've only ridden it twice in the past decade is I didn't get wet either time riding it. Kali River Rapids is a river rafting ride. I have never been on a river rafting ride where you don't pretty much get drenched. I mean, just look at the Bluto barges. I don't remember the full name off the top of my head at Universal. You get soaked. I think that this is the biggest sin of this ride. How it fails at the biggest job of a river rafting ride, I will never understand. But the fact that it doesn't do its biggest job is why it is easily the worst ride at Disney. Well, that's the list. I feel I did better this time than the first time. I'm very confident many people will disagree, especially with that first pick. But, well, not the number 1 pick, the number 5 pick. But, you know, opinions are opinions. Hey, you know, if you like to tell me what your favorite, least favorite, or favorite rides are, let me know. You know what? Because I'm going to do the top 10 best. I was going to do a top 10 worst, but that got very hard to try to figure out 5 more rides that I didn't like. But I'm going to have more videos coming. So, you know, if you want to, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you later.